So, you wanna know about suits? What kind of suit do I get? What's appropriate? What color? What's the fit giving? Men's or women's? What kind of shoes? I got you. This video is all about suits. My name is Jade Fox. This is the Made You Looks channel. And today I'm going to give you every single bit of information that I have about suits. Now, I'm not a suit wearing dapper girl. I don't do that. I'm more on the casual, maybe a little bit of a streetwear side, but I worked at Klein for 4 years. My girlfriend is a seamstress, and I just be buying shit. And the more you buy shit, just the more you learn about fashion and the more you learn about clothes and how they should fit and that type of thing. And so I have a pretty good bank of knowledge when it comes to suiting and how suiting should work and how it should look and how it should fit. Now, I'm speaking from the perspective of, you know, someone who is a woman, who's a cis woman, who has a more masculine style. So that's why I say I want to get into, like, do I go with the more women's suit section, style, path, or do I go men's side? I got you. Let's go. If you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about getting a suit, or maybe you're thinking about getting a suit tailored. A suit is always going to be a good investment because it's going to be the thing that you always go back to, and it's always going to be something that you're going to want to have in your closet. For weddings, court dates, if you be a criminal sometimes, it's okay. Same. Maybe you are going to work events that require a suit, interviews. Like, there's always going to be some type of event situation where you are going to need a suit. And that is why I suggest investing in a good one. Go for quality, because you can get a suit at ASOS. You can get a suit at H&M. You can get a suit at Topman, Zara, and those aren't bad places to get suits, but I just want you to be aware of when you are buying the suit, like, this is something that I'm gonna want to wear next year at, you know, this event or this event or this event. So that's why I say don't really go for the trendy your ones, go for your more, you know, traditional classic cut suits. So maybe don't go for the olive green suit. Let's get the first suit out the way first, you know, and that one should be a nice little charcoal gray, maybe a light gray, or even a navy. I think those are really good colors to go for your very first suit. Now, women's section versus men's section and the fit that makes up the differences between the two. There are certain elements about women's suits that I don't love because I feel like they are a bit too feminine. One thing you'll notice between men's and women's suits is that in women's suiting, the blazers tend to be a little bit shorter. They tend to stop like right at the hip, whereas men's suits are cut a little bit longer, and therefore I like my blazers to be cut a little longer. Now, you can find those more masculine cut suits in the women's section. You just gotta be a little bit more, you know, specific when you're looking for those things. So that's something to keep in mind. Venting, okay? For those of you out there that have hips, you got a lot going on up in the butt area, you're gonna wanna get a suit, or more so a blazer that has venting in the back, because what that's gonna do is gonna give you room, okay? When you sit down, that venting is gonna help you, because obviously when you sit down, that midsection, it tends to flatten out and widen out a little bit. So make sure it's got venting, especially if you got a little junk in the trunk, okay? We just wanna make sure that the junk is dressed nicely. Single breast versus double breast. I like a double breast.
That's what she said.
I have triple breasts. I'm a triple D, so I find that double-breasted suits suit me better because they tend to have, this is a double breast that I'm wearing right now, it tends to have more fabric in the front, it wraps a little bit more in the front, and it normally, the opening here, it's cut a little bit higher, whereas your single breast might cut a little bit down here. And so I like the double breast just because I feel like it gives me that coverage that I like, and it gives you that nice little wrap feature that's always flattering. And depending on your preference, they tend to, even a slim suit or like a slim fitting suit that is double breasted, I tend to have more room in a double breasted blazer than a single breasted. But it's really completely up to your preference. I would just make sure that if you are looking at single breasted suits or blazers in the women's section, make sure that the cut is right. Make sure that it's longer. If you like a more masculine style, make sure that it's longer, and make sure that the lapels aren't too slim. You know, you get it. Like, there are just certain things that happen in women's clothes that, you know, are specifically added to make a garment more feminine. So just look out for those little things. And I noticed that that slimmer lapel tends to read more feminine. So make sure you get one that's a little bit wider so that it doesn't read that way. Now, with men's suits, it's a bit more tricky, the sizing, because I'm a true like size 6, you know, on the bottom and size 8 up on the top. And so I would just go with my appropriate size. Normally I would just get a size 8 in a suit and then just get the pants tailored if I need to do something like that, like an off the rack kind of suit. With men's suiting, it's a little more complicated. There's a lot more measurements involved because it goes beyond just the measurement of the suit, because there's also measurements that comes to the undershirt, like the button up that you wear underneath that uses specific neck sizing as well as sizing for the length of the arms as well. So if you go to pretty much any store that sells suits, you can get measured and you can get your men's sizing done. So I would think that anywhere, like I said, I worked at Calvin Klein, and no, like, were we known for being a suit store? No, but we sold suits. And so obviously people that are selling suits are gonna make sure that you are buying a suit, and then we're gonna make sure that you are very confident when you make that purchase, because at the end of the day, they want your money. So if you are going to be giving them your money, at least make sure that you're getting the right measurements done. And I would say if you are getting a men's suit and you do have a very feminine body, maybe you've got some curves going on and stuff like that, I would just say to get the suit that is closest to your size and then go get it tailored. I'm always going to suggest getting things tailored because a suit is just one of those things that you don't really want to not fit absolutely perfectly, especially if it's for an occasion for you, like if you're getting married or if you got a promotion, you know, whatever. Maybe you just got, I don't know what people celebrate. It's quarantine, it's COVID. I don't know what people celebrate anymore, but like especially if it's for you, like you want to make sure the suit is fitting you absolutely perfectly, and just taking it into a tailor, they're going to do that for you. It's not super expensive. If you are already buying the suit, you might as well make sure that the suit looks perfect. And so it's always going to be worth the money. Personally, I will almost always go to the women's section for a suit rather than the men's, just because the suiting in the women's section just tends to fit my body a bit more, and there's less tailoring that I need to do after I've already gotten the suit. So the shoulders aren't going to be too big, the pants aren't going to be that long, you know, whereas men's, the shoulders will almost always be too long. The jacket itself will probably be too long. The pants will be too long, or the pants will have too much room in the leg. Sometimes if it's like a skinny fit suit, then it's not enough room in the leg. You know, that's why I say, like, if you are going to go to the men's section, just make sure that you get your measurements and that you try and find a suit that is closest to it, and then closest to your body shape, and then go to tailors and get it perfected for that ass, literally. Okay. What type of suit do I wear? What type of suit do I go and get, Jade? I got you, okay? Like I said, your first suit, especially if you don't have any, this is a suit that you're going to be wearing multiple times. So you wanna make sure that it is appropriate for different types of events. So that's why I say like a charcoal gray or a light gray or a navy blue is always going to be a yes. It's a no fail color. It's a no fail choice, all right? I would also say, you know, there are people that like that really slim kind of European fit. There are people that like a bit more of a classic fit that is a little, where you have a little bit of room, but you want to just make sure that's not too baggy necessarily. It really just is up to your preference. I don't think there's anything wrong with either or. It's just all about what you want and what you feel is comfortable for you and in your body. I like a very, very, very slight slim fit. I don't like things that are too slim, because it makes me feel, I don't know, it makes me feel like I own a club in Miami, and it's just not my vibe. Not my vibe, but that is completely up to you. There's no wrong or right answer. So there's going to be events that are more on the like formal side. And so maybe, you know, that navy suit may be not too casual necessarily, but you want something that has a bit more of a flash to it. And so I would say try and find a suit black that has satin on the lapels or silk or something like that. Oftentimes when you see, you know, people wearing suits and they have like shiny shoes, like those like kind of patent, you know, leather shiny looking shoes, like that is something that is meant more for like a very formal situation. Black tie, I mean, it's in the name, black tie, black suit, but literally any other type of event, whatever suit you have should be just fine. There's also nothing wrong with the black suit, but I think that a black suit can read not the kind of formal that you want to give all the time, which is why I say like it's nice to have something like a gray or a blue just have there, because it's always going to be okay all the time. Semi-formal suits. These are suits that are coming in different colors, like burgundy, maybe a nice little chocolate brown like the one that I have on right now, purple even, you know, more of an interesting or intricate pattern, something that isn't necessarily something that you would wear to court, but it is something that you would wear to a wedding or something that you would wear, you know, at a nice little daytime party or event, something like that. These suits, you can be more creative. I think that there's a bit more leniency as well on the different cuts because you know, we've seen them all over our Instagrams, like people are doing the oversized suits, you know, those more like dad kind of style suits. I think that's when you can experiment more, and that is acceptable when you're in that more semi-formal kind of setting. But otherwise, if it's just a traditional formal, just keep it. We've already discussed this, you already know, okay? Colors, let's talk about color, okay? When it comes to the suit, it's nice to think of it as whatever color the suit is, plus your button up underneath. And I'm going to suggest a button up. I think that a t-shirt might be a bit too formal, but like I said, there are some situations where that's completely fine. And you could even wear like sneakers with the t-shirt and the suit, and that's totally fine too. You just have to know what's appropriate for the event that you're going to. But here are my no fail. These are always going to work all of the time. You're never gonna have to think about if it's appropriate for the event or not. These are my no fail color combos. 1, black and white. 2, navy and white. 3, khaki and white. 4, gray and white. Basic, maybe even boring, but they always work. Now, these are my more creative color combos. This is like something that the guy from Ugly Betty, what's his name? What's the guy from Ugly Betty's name? Daniel. This is something that Daniel from Ugly Betty would wear. So black and like that nice subtle purple or like a lavender is a nice combination. Navy and that really nice light pink. Black and blue, burgundy and pink. I think that's what I said. You can even do a pinstripe, chocolate and black, or navy and gray. And that could be anywhere from the actual pattern on the suit or the combination of the suit with the color of the shirt that you're wearing underneath the suit or the tie. You just gotta make sure that it's coordinated. You gotta coordinate it right, okay? You don't wanna look crazy out here. Last category, ties. In my opinion, you don't need a tie. It's completely up to you. If you go to the store and you put on the suit and you're like, you know what, I wanna add a little extra little bit, I wanna get a tie, ask one of the people that works there. They should be able to set you up real nice with a tie. But you could also look at the color wheel, you know, that people use in fashion and just kind of pick colors that are either across from the main color of your suit or adjacent to it. Just make sure that it's not too crazy. You might have to go a different hue of that color. You might have to go a different shade of that color because you don't want anything that's too loud, you know? In my notes, I put, I think they're very I could not say this word right. This is the first time. Patriarchal. I think they're very patriarchal to me because in a historical context, they represent classic masculinity as the basis for respect in a capitalistic society. But I guess they can be cute for you if you want to wear them. That's my sentiment when it comes to ties. If you want to do it, do it. I have a little neck. We've discussed this before. If you're new to this channel, don't ask me why I talk about it so much. It's just relevant to the conversation that we're having most of the time. Okay, so I don't wear them. I feel like they tend to overwhelm my neck. And one thing I noticed amongst women who are of my stature, because I'm 5'5", about 135 pounds, it just looks too much, you know, on me, whether it be a bow tie or, you know, like a skinny tie, that type of thing. But yeah, if you want to wear one, wear one. Bow ties are exclusively for those very much like very formal events. So you can wear them more casually. It's just, it might give Andy from The Office. You might be giving that, all right? But I would suggest though, wearing the black bow tie. Leave it for, you know, the award show. Leave it for, you know, when you get invited to the Grammys. Like, let's leave it for that. And here's your homework, folks. Okay, these are your final notes. I've given you everything that I know, and I'm going to be answering questions in the comments as well. But I'm going to actually list a few people that I love on Instagram in the description of this video. These are people who know what they're talking about. Dapper boys and gals, okay? They wear these suits. They know what they're talking about when it comes to the suits. They cover fashion, and they mostly speak on this, you know, style of clothing that is not my everyday, you know, day to day. So these people are going to give you all the information that you need, and I'll link them in the description. But before we do that, these are your final notes, okay? So get out your notepads if you didn't get one out so far. Number one, make sure your belt matches your shoes. Period. No, there's no debate. There's just no debate. If you got brown shoes, wear a brown belt. Black belt, black shoes. Moving on. If you're wearing suit separates, make sure that they match. Oftentimes, a lot of stores will have suit separates. They won't sell the suits together. And you might even find, a blazer from one suit and then pants from another. And if they're both blue, that doesn't mean that all blues are created equal. Make sure that those look the same. Make sure that they are the same color, okay? Take it out into the sun and look at it, see what it looks like inside, different lighting, because you don't want to look crazy thinking that it matches and it doesn't, all right? It's kind of like doing your eyebrows in the dark. Do you really want to do that to yourself? Do you really want to do that to yourself? Let's be smart. Your sleeves should stop at the wrist bone. This was a note given by my girlfriend, like I said, who is a seamstress and also used to literally make suits for athletes. So she knows what she's talking about. Make sure that sleeves stop at the wrist bone. Shirt underneath should be able to be seen underneath. With your sleeve, if you're wearing a button-up shirt underneath your suit, you should be able to see a bit of that underneath your sleeve, like kind of poking out a little bit. When you're standing up, this is important. Don't look foolish. When you're standing up, your suit should be buttoned. When you're sitting down, unbutton that hoe. You don't want to look like you just got here, okay? Unbutton it. It's going to be tight. It's going to be up on your belly button. It's not going to be cute. I'm telling you, it does not look great, okay? Unbutton it when you were sitting down, button it up when you're standing up. And if you have a 2-button jacket, always button the top, never button the bottom. If you have a 3-button jacket, top and middle, never all 3. Sneakers, you might be wearing a suit somewhere, but it's appropriate for you to wear sneakers. Everyone uses, their own, go off your own personal style. I say that a classic low top white sneaker is always going to be okay, but I think high tops are also fine too. I would just say go for a more classic sneaker. So I wouldn't necessarily, so I'm gonna put a pair of Air Jordan 1s right here. Would I suggest these? No, but would I suggest these? Would I suggest these? Would I suggest these? Maybe even these. Yes. You don't gotta go crazy, but like I said, it's really up to you about what you like. Accessories are okay, and I would say encouraged. Wear those rings. Nice pair of sunglasses. You wear necklaces, but you're probably not gonna be able to see them, and I don't really care for the look of how necklaces, when people like pull the necklaces out and like have them just kind of like dangling over their shirt. Not a fan of that. But if you're wearing like a t-shirt, then I guess that would be different. A nice little funky sock. We stand a funky sock. Stance is a brand that my girlfriend swears by. I will also link that down in the description. And please do not wear, if you're wearing a suit, you gotta commit, okay? That's, at the end of the day, if you are wearing a suit that you have invested time and money in, you've gotten it tailored, you've bought a nice quality suit, you've got your nice quality crisp button-up shirt underneath, you look good, it fits well, keep that energy all the way down. Do not wear a dry fit sock. Wear a nice dress sock, okay? Or that nice funky little sock from Stance. Maybe it's got some polka dots on it or something. Maybe it's got, I don't know, pieces of cheese with like French fries. I don't know. Would I suggest that? Listen, I don't know your life. But don't go cheap. And when I say that, I don't mean money. I mean the way it looks. Like, really try and keep that energy, that nice polished energy that you got going on, all the way down to the shoe, okay? All the way down to the feet. Don't wear no dirty sneakers, okay? Don't wear no dirty, dry fit socks with the holes in them, all right? That is all for me. I hope that this video helped you guys. I will link some suits that I like in the description below. But you can take I'm giving my recommendations, but really just go to those pages and just see the types of suits that are out there. I know that wedding season is around the corner and we're all trying to gear up for it. So good luck. I hope that you feel amazing in whatever suit that you get. And that is all for me. Don't forget to check out those people that I've linked in the description. They're going to give you much better information than I ever could. But yes, thank you for watching this video. My name is Jade Fox. This is the Made You Looks channel. Do not forget, wear what you want, wear what you like, wear it out. See you soon.